Hi, I'm Milton Rendell and welcome to Real News Friday. Been an interesting week as normal, plenty of sales still occurring and still plenty of conversation out in the marketplace. Now, one of the interesting topics that keeps popping up in recent times is the talk about stamp duty. And Real Estate Institute of Australia and a number of other parties have been tabling for the change to the stamp duty and how it works within the states. Now, to give you an idea, one of the biggest hindrances or slowdowns that stops people from moving home, not just buying, but actually moving from house to house, is the cost of stamp duty. So the average house, so let's say sold for $400,000, the stamp duty on the purchase, if you were to purchase it, is around just under $15,000. So imagine if it's a seller and you sell the property, and let's say you pay a commission of around $12,000, and then you purchase a second one. There's what you call dead money plus your settlement costs, probably around about $30,000. Now, not everybody can afford that, and that's one of the reasons we're not probably seeing as many properties come to the market as we possibly should. I've always been the belief that there should be some form of concession to pensioners after probably some sort of asset test as to the affordability of doing that. I imagine there's many elderly that are still living in homes because they don't see, or the family can't see how they can afford to move them. Anyway, that's another discussion for another day, but stamp duty certainly is a discussion still out there, and I think it's one that should be debated. Keep in mind that stamp duty, as your property goes up, properties go up, so does stamp duty. So maybe if they looked at possibly a flat fee or something like that, it's just, I think that the system, not so much broken, but it certainly needs a review. Now, the other thing is we've been talking about affordability in Australia, and they're still saying that West Australia is one of the most affordable places to live. It's with our median price aimed at at the lower end. And now it's interesting, some statistics I saw in an article released by REWA had some comparisons of how long it would take us to catch up to, say, Sydney on median price. Now, so it would take 23 years to catch up to Sydney's median price, 18 years for Melbourne, 13 years for Canberra, 10 years for Hobart, which I cannot believe, and 8 years to Brisbane. No mention of Adelaide, that's not unusual. Sorry, people in Adelaide. But it's an interesting how long that would take. Now, in terms of sales in the last week in West Australia, we saw 846 sales. That was up about 8% because it was down last week. Stock holdings about the same. The amount of properties on the market at the moment, it's 8,696. That's about what it was a week ago, and it's probably just a touch higher than a month ago, about 1.1%, and higher than it was a year ago by about 2%. So we're starting to see a shift in an upward trend, not in leaps and bounds, but we are seeing that. In terms of rentals, there's 687 properties let last week, 2,324 available in the market. That's down 2.4%, and that's still down 16, nearly 17% compared to a year ago. So the rental market continues to flow, so I think we'll continue to see rents going up over the next 12 months. How far, I'm not too sure, but I wouldn't expect it to be less than 5%. I think it'll be probably around that sort of figure, maybe higher in other areas, but in and around where we are in Midland, I think that's where we're going to be. But it's going to be an interesting 12 months. Interest rate pressure, people are talking about that. That's certainly going to happen. But once again, remind ourselves that it wasn't that long ago that we were paying 7% and 6%, and I'm even one of the old fellas that had to pay 17%. So the interest rate, although will be going up, it'll limit the amount of possible buyers coming to the marketplace, but it may also provide the slowing that's necessary for people to be able to enter the market, because it will slow the prices down slightly. You will see leaps in prices over a 12-month period, which took people totally in the marketplace. This may present an opportunity for people to catch up the market, and if they amend the stamp duty, that'll be interesting. One last point, West Australia has the highest percentage of first home buyers than anyone else in Australia, so that's an interesting one. So we must still be seen as affordable, and that probably supports that. Anyway, in the meantime, check out realestateplus.com.au. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.